Hello, for this week's discussion, we're doing post-war entrepreneurs. For my paper and my oral history interview, I worked on the commonalities of Henry Ford, his company, and how it left a lasting legacy for many Ford dealers from the early 1940s on. Well, this time I wanted to take it a step further, and I wanted to look at William Capo Durant. He was the president of General Motors, where Henry Ford had Ford Motor Company. Durant actually had bigger ideas than Henry Ford. Henry Ford was satisfied with one vehicle. Durant was not. He felt like people should have a choice with their vehicle. So he wanted to meet with others. He met with a Cadillac dealer. And everything that I've read about Durant, he was a charmer. He did take risks, and a lot of the banks would not work with him because they felt like he was too much of a risk taker. But he still was able to succeed in most everything that he did. The one thing that I found interesting about Durant was he was the grandson of the governor of Michigan. So, of course, that's why he got the General Motors dealership there in Detroit. But also, the story that I read about him was that he had $6 million prior to the crash of Wall Street during the Great Depression. When he came out, he basically came out with $250. That was what he had. But he took that money, reinvested it, worked, and was able to do so many things post-war. Of course, he did the Jeeps, the engines, airplanes. He had his hands in a little bit of everything. But one of his big breaks came when he decided that he was going to do refrigeration. As everyone was coming back from World War II, things were picking up. The New Deal era programs were going, jobs were getting abundant, money was being spent. So this was something new, having a refrigerator in your home. So he developed some parts of the refrigerator and the freezer. And he also, his big break came in 1947 when he worked to help develop the washing machine. This was absolutely something new for everyone. So everybody wanted to buy one. And so as he was doing this each year or every couple of years, he would develop more. And then it got to the point where he was developing like the coin operated washing machines. And that was something that was new too for people who didn't have a washing machine at home. They could go out to the laundromat at this point in time because there was something new. William Durant was an entrepreneur like no one had seen before. He worked with different companies. He talked with Chrysler, with Cadillac, with Jeep. He knew that with gentlemen coming back from the service, they loved the Jeeps. So he was going to figure out a way to make that happen for anyone who would like to buy one. Of course, they were stripped down for the Army and the service members, but when he worked out the deal, he was actually able to go back through and put the things in that we would just think were very simple of this time. But he actually was a great businessman, and even in his obituary, they talked about how he was a vast entrepreneur, but he was a man who made and lost fortunes, but somehow he always bounced back. It goes on to talk a little bit about the articles that I read, that he was president for many years of um, General Motors, and then it consolidated with White Westinghouse in 1979. So, it changed. But for the majority of the 21st century, William Durant made a huge impact. He made money, he lost money. It was okay. It wasn't the end of the world to him. He knew that there was going to be just that one next idea. That's what a true entrepreneur is to me, is someone who can make money and build on it. Or if you take a chance and you lose money, you can always go back and you can try again. And if one adventure failed for him, he was on to the next. Maybe that's a little reckless, but it left his name and it left information for me to find about him. So to me, he is one of the great post war entrepreneurs. Thank you.